to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. Hello out there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing today? Somebody sent me this link, and after watching this video, in fact, I found out that I cannot do it better than what Joseph Okechukwu has done here. So I'm not going to have an input here. I'm just going to upload this video the way he has allowed it. I mean, he has done it. But one thing I'd like you to get from this video is that everything you will see, the content, the deception that has been brought, and so many of us have been, co-opted into this deception. One thing is certain, that everything you are going to see is going to be about three of it. Everything you are going to see, both in part 1, 2, and 3, is telling you one thing, that this world is coming to its end. The world is coming to its end, and you've got to run for your life. Everything that happened in the Bible that made God to become so, should I use the word frustrated with the human beings that he created? And he said, the Bible said, and it repented the Lord that he made man, because there was violence upon the face of the earth. And right from the time that God made that statement, the next thing that followed was destruction. And this has always happened at the peak of every civilization. There is always something significant that will happen. You find out that what happened in the Bible, the Tower of Babel, and all the worship of idols that took place that made God angry, for him to destroy the world, is playing itself out again. And the next thing that we follow essentially is the destruction of this world. And this will usher in the reign of our Lord Jesus Christ. That is a video I will do, very soon. We're going to look at the timing of the Antichrist and the rapture. So many big pastors, big preachers, big ministers of God, even those I respect as well. So many of them have different views as in the timing of the rapture. But then I have a different view. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, I want to ask you to please put down your comment in the comment section. Let us know how you feel about the video. What is your thoughts on what you see? Remember that this is part 1, part 2, and 3 will come, after. Thank you so much, and God bless you. May I ask you to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so? If you have been coming and you've not given us your subscription, I want to ask you to kindly subscribe and activate the bell icon by selecting all, so that the next time we upload a new video, you will be among the first recipients of Google's notification. Thank you so much. Till I come your way again, I remain your brother in the Lord, and from me to you, shalom.
The opening ceremony at the Commonwealth Games, and the bull and the Baal worship and all the stuff that happened there. So here it is. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride with me. But before you sit back and grab your popcorn, I want you to please remember to subscribe to our channel and also click on the notification button, so that whenever we upload a new video, you will be notified. Just for starters, I think we need to understand what the Commonwealth Games is all about, what the whole idea of Commonwealth is all about as well.
The very first Commonwealth Games was held in Hamilton, Ontario in 1930. And was actually called the British Empire Games.
Commonwealth nations are about 56 in number, a total of about 2.5 billion in population. These nations may have declared independence at some point in their history, but they are really not independent because their allegiance is still to the British Crown. They are still under the influence of the British Crown. So that's basically what Commonwealth of Nations is all about. They are nations that are controlled by Britain, by the colonial powers. And so every 4 years, they come together to have these games that they call Commonwealth Games. And it's like a mini Olympic Games. The reason this year's one is trending so much is because of the things that happened at the opening ceremony. Remember, some weeks ago, I put out a video to let us know that the Large Hadron Collider at CERN was now being restarted, and eventually got restarted. I told us clearly The restarting that collider meant that the gates of hell were opening onto our world, and demons were about to be poured into this world in measures that we have never seen before in the history of this world. So it's not a coincidence that not too long after CERN Large Hadron Collider was restarted, we are seeing an opening ceremony depicting the worship of Baal in plain sight. But you know, everybody talks about Baal, Baal, Baal because you saw the bull that came out. They call it the raging bull that came out at that ceremony. And that became the star of the show. But that was not the only thing that happened on that day. And this is why I want you to follow me carefully. I want to show you something else that happened in that same place that many people are not taking notice of. And it's all interconnected with the emergence of the bull, which also has its own implications, which I'm going to explain to you as we go further down.
The stadium itself is filling with smoke. The smell of the smoke is in the nostrils of the 30,000 inside the stadium.
If you compare the image of this building that is up in flames here with the one that is on the other side of the screen, which is the image of the Tower of Babel, you can see that they have too many similarities. Now, what I consider this that is up in flames is the Tower of Babel. This is a depiction of how God confused the language and destroyed the Tower of Babel. And before we continue with this image, I want to share with you what I believe was the idea behind the Tower of Babel. Because, you know, in Christianity, we've been told that the Tower of Babel was being constructed to get to the heavens where God is living. But I don't believe that that is actually what it meant in literal sense. I don't think it is possible for anybody to construct any structure that will get into the heavens. I'm pretty sure that back in the days, they didn't have the power for it. Today, we still don't have the power to do that. But you know that whenever something is stretched into the skies, that back in the days, the olden days, they would say it went up into the heavens. The skies are also called the heavens. So skyscrapers are buildings that have stretched into the heavens. So I believe that this was supposed to be an imposing structure that was going to be a skyscraper that will stretch into the heavens and take the shape of a pyramid. And ideologically, what that simply means is that these people were actually trying to build the center for one world government, one world religion, one world currency, one world everything. Just call it the New World Order. That was the devil trying to establish his own rule or reign over the earth. And God went and scattered the language over there and frustrated the tokens of these liars. And so it never happened. And when God frustrated it, they went back to the drawing board and then began to craft the same thing that God destroyed until they came up with what you call Illuminati today. And once they created Illuminati, the same pyramid that this Tower of Babel looks like has now become a symbol that many of us are all too familiar with today as the symbol of the Illuminati. And that symbol, unlike the Tower of Babel that didn't have a capstone, the pyramid that they have today now has a capstone, which means that the capstone which bears the eye of Lucifer is now the completion of that same thing they wanted to do there. So even though God frustrated it, even though God didn't allow it to happen, it has now finally come to conclusion. And so what they are doing in this time is giving us announcements of how they are emerging gradually into our psyche, into our existence as human beings, which actually tells you that we are living in the end of all things as you know it. That's what is going on right here. And so with that knowledge, I want us to go right back into the video that I was showing you so that I can tell you how that this video, even though they know that there was a library that was gutted with fire in 1879, which was rebuilt in 1882, they are using that same history to pass across a subliminal message that means that the Tower of Babel is back again. One world religion and one world government, the New World Order has now come back. but you are also going to understand what is it that has given life to this evil thing that God frustrated many years ago. Now look at the fire in front of you. You will see that there are people called the dreamers. There are actually more than 6 in number, but there are only 6 here. Now, why do we have only 6? 6 is a number of man's weakness. It's a number of man's depravity. It's a number of rebellion. That's why the pride LGBT color is 6 in number. Many people think that the flag or the color is rainbow. No, rainbow is 7 colors, but the LGBT pride color is 6 in number. Remember, man's weaknesses, man's depravity, and man's rebellion. So that's what 6 stands for. And 6 also, when you put it in 3 places, it gives you the mark of the beast. So 6 means a lot to the devil. Now watch what happens in this video as 6 dreamers come together and they are holding what you call shards, crystal shards. And crystals, for those of you who may not know, are just like gemstones, but for some reason they have low vibrational energies. These dark powers operate with low vibrational energies, so they are very much attracted to crystals. So if you look at mysticism all over the world, if you talk about occultism, you will hear a lot of crystal related terminologies or activities or rituals and stuff like that. So that's why in their hands you see them bearing crystals. They call them crystal shards. These crystal shards are glowing with light. What light is in these shards? The light they carry is the light of Lucifer, which is the light that is going to lead and rule everything on earth under the reign of the Antichrist. Remember, Lucifer is depicted as the light giver. That's why if you look at the Columbian picture, it is a woman carrying the torchlight. That's the light of Lucifer. If you look at the Statue of Liberty, which actually has nothing to do with liberty, it's actually carrying another light again, and that's the light of Lucifer. The Olympic torchlight, all representing the light of Lucifer. That same light today has now been infused into a crystal shard, and I want you to see what they are going to use that light to do with this burning structure in front of you. Just watch, but before you see them use the shard to restore the building that is burning, I want you to look at something that many people have not seen. Watch, right there. Did you see something that just changed now? Did you see that what is in front of you in this very compartment here is actually a figurine, like a mask? Just watch again. The image begins to come and then the yellow light disappears and turns into a static image. What do you see that? Do you see that emerging? As it's disappearing, it kind of morphs into an image of a being that is sticking the tongue out, which I believe here looks like Lucifer or Satan himself in the flames. And they are feeling at home in this flame. Was this what the Tower of Babel was meant to accomplish? To become like an embassy for the powers of hell? So that hell is established on earth. Isn't that what the whole New World Order agenda is all about? To bring the kingdom of Satan into our world. But God frustrated it. But now they are revamping it. They are giving it a new life. How did they give it life? The light of Lucifer is what they put together, and then they were able to restore, as you can see in front of you. But why didn't they just aim it individually at that? They had to put it together because when the Tower of Babel was destroyed, it was because they had one voice. That's why they were succeeding in what they were doing. Because scattered their tongues. And today they've taken all those crystal shards, almost like representing tongues, and they have put them together as one. They could have aimed it at the building individually and accomplish the same thing, but he said no, let's put it as one, because that oneness that we lost was why we lost our hold on the universe, on the population of the world, when he came and scattered our tongues. So they're showing you that all these nations, our voices are one. We are now recreating the worship of Baal in this present age. We are running away from that God who made the heavens and earth. We are deviating from our moral and Christian principles and codes that we all grew up with. It is now the era of the worship of Satan and not the worship of God. That's what they just told you right there. And so a new life has been given to the Tower of Babel, and suddenly we now see all the dreamers holding the same together. So those tongues of 6 that became one is now the tongues of all the nations. We are now speaking with one voice to say that we want Satan to come back and rule over the nations of the earth. And that's why the song that was performed there is titled Hear My Voice. Hear my voice round about the Tower of Babel, which represents one world religion, new world order, born and displayed in front of us in plain sight. It's got nothing to do with the library. The library doesn't look this way. This right here is the birth of the new world order, the reign of the Antichrist.